Today on Profs Huddle, the Rowan Profs are making a run for the NCAA championship in several fall sports.
And we will break down the top 5 plays this season from our Rowan athletes. That and more coming up on Profs Huddle.
Episode of Profs Huddle. I'm Jake Snyder.
And I'm Marcus Thompson. This past week, Rowan had 4 teams compete in an NJAC championship game. Unfortunately, men's and women's soccer could not secure the title and both lost in penalty kicks. Volleyball and field hockey came out on top and both went on to win NCAA tournaments. Jake, can you tell us more about field hockey?
The NJAC Field Hockey Championship is on the line where our Rowan Profs are taking on the Kane Cougars. These two teams would take the field as Rowan started off strong. Halfway through the first, the Profs get an opportunity right in front of the net, but Julia Patrone gets her shot denied by Jenna Flemings, the Kane goaltender. With seconds left in the half, Bridget Guinan gets a close-range chance but is denied by Flemings. Still no score in the 4th period of a tight defensive game. Kane gets her best scoring opportunity so far, and Abby Hainsworth shuts it down to keep the game tied at 0. This will go to overtime, where Christina Casagnola gets free to the inside and shoots and scores to give the Profs their second NJAC championship in the last 3 seasons. This game was a defensive battle, but Rowan applied enough pressure, outscoring Kane 16-9 and scoring the lone golden goal to clinch an NCAA tournament berth.
Thanks, Jake. The women's volleyball team were up against Montclair in a heated match for the NJAC championship title. Let's take a look at how they performed. Early on, Montclair up 23-22. Rowan's Gina Edmondson slips one onto Montclair's side to even up the score at 23-23 early in the match. With Rowan taking the first set, we take you back to a score of 26-25 with Montclair leading. Montclair is yet to get a shot right up the middle in order to get the second set. We are now tied at 1-1, with Montclair now up 24-19 in the third set. Gina Edmondson's serve gets bumped back onto the side to give Montclair the third set. In the 4th set, with Rowan up 24-20, Natalie Ogden spikes the ball onto Montclair's side to put the Profs up. With Rowan taking the 4th set, Montclair's Shelly Eaton spikes the ball a little bit too hard as the ball goes out of bounds. With that, Rowan is able to win the match 3-2 as they go on to win the NJAC championship game. As you could probably guess, an emotional overload for our Profs. This was a well-deserved win. They fought hard to the very end. Because of their hard work, we can now call them the official NJAC champs.
The men's soccer team competed in the NCAA Division III soccer tournament this past weekend. Let's take a look at their round 1 matchup against Mount St. Vincent. Early on, the Profs create a great scoring chance where Chad Yates sets up his own shot, but Mount St. Vincent's goalie gets just a piece of it. The ball hits a crossbar, but will not fall inside of the goal. Later on, Junior Miranda crosses it into the box, looking for Turlo Gartland, but the header lands right into the goalie's gloves. The Profs would once again get another close scoring chance in the second half, marching downfield, trying to find the freshman Turlo Gartland yet again, hoping to connect for a goal on this drive. But he misses his spot and kicks it high over the net. Another missed opportunity as the Profs keep fighting to put a point on the board. Later on, a corner kick by Chad Yates reaches the head of Gartland to tack one on for the Profs. The Profs outshot Mount St. Vincent 19-3 and won by a final score of 2-0.
Now let's send it over to Morgan, who spoke with the head swim and dive coach Elise Blasquet and Jordan McKenzie as she discusses the start of the 2021-22 season.
After their 1-year hiatus, the women's swimming and diving team are jumping back into the pool. They return with high hopes and a strong team.
They were declared the preseason favorite by the NJAC 2021-2022 coaches poll, ranking above the reigning champion, TCNJ. So far this season, they have held up to those standards with wins against York, Keene, and William Patterson, and a tie against Montclair.
So being back in season is unique. I think the biggest thing, coming off of no competition, there is a lot of, at the start of the season, a little bit of uncertainty, right? Just trying to figure out what the next steps are and how to reintroduce ourselves to the season.
Coach Elise Blaschke stepped up as head coach preceding the 2019-2020 season and led the Profs to the NJAC Championships and 2020 Metropolitan.
So this is actually our best year in all the years I've ever been here. Team dynamic-wise, they are, the team chemistry is good. They support one another. In every year, at any time of the year, you can have, a little bit of challenges that come along throughout the season. Anything that has come up in the 9 weeks we've been training, our team has handled gracefully, and they really know how to support one another, which is ultimately what we're looking for.
The team has a couple of powerful swimmers returning for this season, such as Jordan McChesney, the 2019-2020 NJAC Rookie of the Year and NJAC's second and first team all-conference member.
Team dynamic has been wonderful. It's the main driving force behind our success. I think the team is stronger than ever. We're more connected at the pool, which translates to our success.
With a strong team of all-conference returners and some newcomers, the Profs are sure to make a splash this season.
Thanks, Morgan. After winning the NJAC title and clinching a berth in the NCAA tournament, the Rowan field hockey team would take on Ohio Wesleyan. Second round NCAA tournament action at Coach Wacker Stadium this past Saturday. Ohio's Sarah Hanley is going to cut around the Profs defenders and tap it in to break the scoreless tie throughout 2 periods. But just a little bit over a minute later, Christina Ovell will draw a penalty corner, and Julia Cavicchio fires it into the back of the net to tie the game at 1. Neither team would score in the third. 5 minutes into the 4th period, and Rowan would draw another penalty corner. Christina Castagnola takes a shot, and it goes in off of a deflection by Christina Ovell to score the game-winning goal. The Profs controlled the pace of the game and outshot Ohio Wesleyan 39-2. Profs won by a final score of 2-1 and moved on to the 3rd round of the NCAA tournament the next day, defeating Washington and Lee 3-0. They are now heading to the Final Four, where they will face off against Middlebury College and hope to secure their spot in the championship game.
Now moving on, we have a lot of Profs who earned all Njac Awards in the past couple of weeks. Our Profs secured the NJAC Championship with the win over Montclair State. Some awards were given out to the following players. Simone Sperrio won the title of Co-Defensive Player of the Year, with Natalie Ogden and Brianna Newson were selected for First Team All-Conference. Brooke Adams was given the Honorable Mention Award, while Dina Jesperson was awarded Coach of the Year, which was well-deserved. For field hockey, Christina Castagnola earned Midfielder of the Year, while Molly Gorkaiza earned Defensive Player of the Year. Head coach Michelle Andre earned Coach of the Year. For women's soccer, Aiden Sheehan earned First Team All-Conference, along with Ariana Derling and Bristol Pizzitu, who earned Second Team All-Conference. Jessica Logan and Emma DeMacy earned Honorable Mention. Rounding things off for the All NJAC Awards is the men's soccer team. Chad Yates, Wilby Alfred, Luke Yates earned All-Conference Second Team, while Jade Vandermark, James Weinberg, and Leo Montesones earned Honorable Mention.
Now let's take a look at the Profs Huddle top 5 plays from the fall season. At number 5, we have the men's soccer team, where there's a cross pass in front of the net, gets batted around, and finds Anthony Arena, who kicks it in while turning into the back of the net to give the Profs the lead. Coming in at number 4 is from the men's soccer team once again. Chad Yates receives the ball, and a one-time blast past the goal line gives the Profs the win in overtime against Stockton. At number 3 is Christina Castagnola's game-winning NJAC championship winning goal against Kane. This sent the Profs into the NCAA field hockey tournament. Second best play of the season belongs to Jessica Logan, who heads in the ball past the goalie off of the lob from Emma DeMays, giving the Profs the lead. And finally, at number 1 is John Molinato's insane heavily contested grab against William Patterson for a 69-yard touchdown.
Wow, we have a lot of talent in our athletics program.
Agreed. You can tell all of our athletes were eager to get back on the fields after COVID, which brings us to our basketball teams that are finally back on the court for the first time since 2020. Let's hear from Travis.
Thanks, Jake. The men's basketball team took on the Coast Guard Bears on Friday. This was Rowan's first game of the season. The game was close in the first, but in the second, Rowan really poured it on, took control, and came out on top 111-83 for their first win. Melvin led the Profs with 17 points. The next day, the Profs took on Messiah, once again putting up 111. The Profs improved to 2-0, beating the Falcons 111-89. Melvin again led the Profs in scoring, racking up 19 points. As for the women's basketball team, they lost their season opener 73-53 to Tufts University. Savannah Holt led the Profs with 13 points, while Nicole Mallard snatched 7 rebounds. In their second game versus Smith College, the Profs couldn't hang on to their first half lead, losing 70-55. Dakota Adamas had a team-high 13 points, while Grace Marshall was named to the All-American tournament team. Now, let's take a look at the upcoming winter schedule. Starting with the men's basketball team, they tip off tonight against Marymount at 6 p.m. After that, they play Tuesday the 23rd at TCNJ. The women's team's next game is also tonight, their opponent being Widener. Following that game, they'll face off against TCNJ on the 23rd, and after that against Salisbury on Saturday the 27th. Both the men's and women's swimming and diving team will be going up against Carnegie Mellon on Friday the 19th and Saturday the 20th. Sounds like a very busy winter schedule for the Profs, and it's not even December yet. Back to you guys in the studio.
Thanks, Travis. Well, guys, that's all the news we have for you today. Thank you so much for tuning in to the latest episode of Profs Huddle. I'm Marcus Thompson.
And I'm Jake Snyder. We'll see you next time when we get back in the huddle.